Yo, what up, fam? It's Phantom, and in today's video, we had the amazing honor to have an interview with Alicia. Alicia is the developer of PokeForce, and we're going to go over some of the questions that I asked her. We're going to go over her answers, and we're going to talk about what I think about everything, and kind of give you guys some info so you know a little bit more about what PokeForce has to offer when this game is coming out, including we are going to be talking about a release date that we will have, a tentative release date, which I will go over here once we get to that question. But before we get started, if you guys like this video, make sure you hit the like button. If you want to learn more about PokeForce, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything, and let's jump right in. This was a text interview, so I just asked her questions and she responded to me. So I'm going to read the question and I will give you her answer and talk about it. So I first asked her, when did you start on PokeForce? And she said PokeForce had been around for approximately a year and a half now, and it was originally called Poke RPG. But they did put the project on the back burner for a bit while Alicia went to go learn a program in Kotlin in a different industry. So she went and learned a different language and took time to do that and has now been coming back to it. So I don't know if you guys anyone followed it since it was called Poke RPG, but that's what it used to be called. Now it is now PokeForce. The next question I asked was, where did the name PokeForce come from? And she said it goes back to my first RuneScape private server that I developed. Then it was called RuneForce, so it's a bit of homage to my beginnings. So it sounded like she started off in the RuneScape private server community and kind of moved over and wanted to do something different and decided to go into Pokemon, which is pretty cool. I then asked, what made you want to create this MMO? And she said, I've always enjoyed the MMO genre, whether I was playing them or developing them. Pokemon was my first game as a kid, so it made sense to combine those two loves and make something cool. So it's really cool that she comes from an MMO background. That's encouraging to me. A lot of people, it seems like, only come from a Pokemon background when they go to create a Pokemon MMO and only know a few things. But her having a MMO genre background, that's really encouraging, and hope that means there's going to be more MMO features and less just normal Pokemon features. So the next question I asked is, what is your background as a developer? And she said, I started programming when I was around 12 years old. The majority of my experience comes from working with RuneScape private servers, and I've been self-teaching myself for the last 15 years. I haven't even read any programming books or watched programming tutorials. That's really cool, knowing that you could get into programming that young and to learn it completely on your own. That's kind of actually how I did video editing. That's how I learned video editing, was just kind of doing it and jumping into it. So if you guys ever want to do something and you want to learn something, just jump in and you'll find the answers as you go. It's really exciting, and that's really cool that she was able to do that. I then asked, have you played a lot of Pokemon MMOs? If so, which one is your favorite? And she said, honestly, no. I played Poke MMO for a bit, but I kept having this nagging feeling that I could make this one. It's a bit of a programmer issue. You can't properly enjoy a game because you're constantly thinking about how they did it and how you could do it. So she doesn't have a ton of experience with Pokemon MMOs, but that might be a good thing. She can have a fresh take on this Pokemon MMO. I asked, what's a favorite Pokemon? She said Cyndaquil, which is adorable. I then asked, how will this Pokemon MMO differ from the other MMOs like Poke MMO and Pokemon Planet? She said, our main selling point is RPG elements and more of a true MMO experience while maintaining visual fidelity to the classic games. Being able to train skills, engage with your class-specific stories and events, team up with your friends or guilds and challenge dungeons. We want there to always be something to do and constant progression and rewards. Our world isn't focused entirely on a single main campaign. There'll be lots of fun little stories baked into the lore. Then, of course, we can have your traditional Pokemon classics, such as battling, PvE, PvP, and shiny hunting. Obviously, as a shiny hunter, that's exciting for me. I love shiny hunting, but it is interesting to know that there's going to be quite a bit of different things to do, and that's also really encouraging for me. Again, as someone that really cares more about the PvE aspect as opposed to the PvP, but it seems like the PvP will still be there. I then asked, how many staff members do you have? And she said they have a core development team of 6 members, which consists of Alicia, who's the lead developer and studio head, Chris, not me, but Chris, the community manager and moderation head, Captain Lavender, who's the lead game director and artist mapper head, and then Jack, who's the lead content creator, Tristan, who's the system administrator, and Tater, who's the lead composer. She then also said we have our moderators and community guides, Bradley, B, Red, Professor Eki, who are in charge of working with new staff members to ensure a pleasant experience for everyone in the community. So it sounds like there's quite a bit of people that are working on this game that really want to see this succeed, which is encouraging. Next question was, how many regions will there be for launch? And she answered 1, which is Johto. However, we're reimagining Johto, so it'll be a fresh experience for everyone. So that's exciting. Johto is my favorite region. I know a lot of people shit on Johto, but I love Johto. It is my favorite region, and it's exciting to see that this is going to be reimagined, and I'm excited to see what this is going to look like. How long do you plan development to take? She said, I'll be evil and say I plan development to take at least a decade. The game will constantly be updating and evolving, even post-launch. We plan to do a weekly update cycle post-launch. Weekly update cycle sounds incredible. I don't think there's a Poke MMO out right now that does a weekly update, or at least one that's like highly played. Weekly update cycle is very aggressive, but very good. I'm excited to see how that's going to go, for sure. I'm excited to see how weekly updates would go. Next question, can you give us an idea when you want to launch the game? And I will say, before I give this answer, please don't give any hatred to the developers if they don't come out before this release date. But I just want to make sure to preface this. Please be patient. Anything can happen in development, and it's so hard to tell this early in a project if this is going to be when it is. But please, her answer was, our plan is 2024, but this is subject to change. So that means it's going to be releasing by next year, or is planned to be released. But again, if it comes December 2024 and you guys are freaking out saying that, oh, where's this game? That would not be cool at all. Just make sure to be patient. It can always change, and you never know. But if you want to keep up to date, make sure to check the Discord link in the description. That does go to PokeForce, and you'll be able to learn the most there. So the next question, will it launch as a beta or a full release? She said it'll be considered a beta, but as full release, as in this is it, the game will now save your progression. So it sounds like once they release whatever it is, the full beta or the full release or whatever it's going to be called, that will then save your progress, and they'll probably let you know in the Discord when that's happening. I think all the demos that have happened so far, the open demos that they've run, the one that I played last time, none of that's going to be saved. It's going to be erased. Next question, will you run a closed beta, and how could viewers get involved if so? She said, yes, we constantly run open betas at the moment, but for more involved beta testing, we plan to open applications to be a beta tester in the near future. So if you guys want to be a more involved beta tester, make sure to check out the Discord. I'm sure they will give you more info about that soon. Next question is, what is your favorite feature you're looking forward to in the game? She said, personally, my favorite feature is going to be the skills that you can train. I grew up playing RuneScape, so that RuneScape experience in a game I've made in the Pokemon world, chef's kiss. So this is awesome. I love RuneScape as well. I also love Pokemon, so this is a really cool mixture. It'll be interesting to see what kind of skills they come up with and what that's going to look like moving forward. Next question, will this game offer extensive PvE content, PvP content, or both? She said both. We plan on working closely with the PvP community to really add some punch to that side of the game, while also our PvE content will be featuring exciting new ways to play in addition to the classics. So that's really exciting that there's going to be both of a feature focus. I'm excited to see what that's going to look like. If you guys are big into PvP, or if you guys have things that you want to talk about in PvE, make sure to check this game out because it could be really cool, and help those developers out. If you have ideas, or if you have things you want to talk about, or if you can even help in some way, offer them your help. I'm sure they could use it. What will be the base rate for shiny Pokemon? She said undetermined, but we all agree that 1 out of 30,000 is too much. Thank goodness. I agree. Poke MMO is not as exciting for me because I can't grind 1 out of 30,000 shiny Pokemon. It's too much for me, and I'm excited that's going to be lower than that, but we'll see what it is at the final product. I asked, will there be a cash shop? If yes, what do you plan on selling on the shop? And she said, yes, the tokens received from donating will be tradable with other players and can be used in our cosmetic shop or spent on membership tickets. More info on this at a later date. So we don't have a ton of info on this. It looks to be similar to most of the other Pokemon MMOs, like Pokemon Planet and Pokemon Revolution Online, where you kind of buy donation tickets, and then you can either give those to other players or you can buy things in game. So sounds pretty standard for that regard. I asked, what is the end goal for this project? And she said, to provide a welcoming, engaging, and rewarding Pokemon experience for all Pokemon fans, whether you're new or a veteran to the series. So that's exciting that it seems to be going toward all audiences, and that it seems like that she really cares about catering to everyone when they're playing. Next question, will legendaries be in the game? If so, how will you catch them? At this current stage, we can confirm that legendaries will be a boss fight at the end of dungeons or raids. No word on a process for catching or holding legendaries yet. That's really, really exciting. Dungeons and raids, I don't think that happens very often in Pokemon MMOs, and I think that should happen more often, and that's very exciting that that could be happening in this game, and I'm excited to try that out. I then asked, how many Pokemon do you plan on launching, and which gens are the Pokemon going to be from? We plan to launch with Gen 4 and adding other generations with content updates down the road. I'm not sure if that's just Generation 4 or if it's up to Generation 4, but it seems like it's going to be Generation 4 in regards to like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and they're running with that kind of theme. Next, when will we players be able to test the game next? And she said, keep out an eye on our burst test channel and get the pings roll from our roles selection channel to know when our intermittent tests are. Otherwise, our next demo is slated for January of 2024. The last question I asked is, anything else you'd like players to know? And she said, just would like to say thank you for the amazing community so far. While the project's been around for more than a year, serious development only began around 2 months ago, and we intend to keep the progress coming. We're really excited that we're bringing something new to the scene, and we want to make sure that you're a part of it. The developers are always around to answer questions or listen to your feedback, so don't be shy to bring your ideas to the table. That's extremely encouraging that she wants to hear from everybody and wants feedback. That's really exciting to see. This is a really exciting project that I'm going to definitely be following. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe for more PokeForce content, and I'll catch you in the next one.